There are two big developments tonight in the ongoing strike at Ontario's colleges. A class action lawsuit has been launched on behalf of students, while teachers are now voting on the latest contract offer. Alicia San has details now on what's on the table.
Faculty has until Thursday to say yay or nay to this offer. In it, there are wage increases, better benefits, and when it comes to staffing, it says that colleges must give preference to hiring more full-time positions over partial load positions. The union is flagging a potential loophole there.
So there are three types of teachers in our system, aside from full-time. So the three types of contract teachers: sessional, partial load, and part-time. If you have preference language for the first two, you still have one. And that one is where it's a problem, because the part-timers, they only teach one or two courses. And what that'll mean is that they can hire as many of them to fill those classrooms as they want to, instead of full-time people. So it means they don't have any job security, they don't have any wage security, which means they're cheap, they're flexible, and they can churn them through the system endlessly. And that's exactly what they've been trying to do this whole round, is create more what they call flexible, what we call the Walmart style of employment. I mean, they basically would run a college classroom like a temp agency.
We're not going to fill the college with part-timers.
So that's Don Sinclair, head of the College Employers Council. He says the union is reading this all wrong and that there has always been only one true sticking point: academic freedom. Faculty want some more say in the decision-making. This offer does not budge on that.
You need to make it somewhat institutional. Like, there are a bunch of colleges that do degrees, and so that will have an impact on their academic freedom policy. There are colleges that do applied research. There are some colleges that don't do any degrees. So to have one clause to affect the 24 colleges would just not be appropriate.
Both sides have dug in their heels and crossed their arms now. The faculty is being urged by the union to vote no, and the fate of the student semesters hangs in the balance. There is one thing both sides agree on, and it's that they don't want to let those students down. Well, it's too far gone for some, Dwight. As you mentioned, leading into that story, a number of students have launched a class action lawsuit to try to claw back some of their lost tuition. This is the students striking back. Coming up a little later in the show, we will be back to talk about what will happen to their semesters if the union gets their way and the faculty votes no this week. Dwight.
All right, we'll check back with you. Thank you, Ali. Week 5 of the college strike, and for students, the semester hangs in the balance. Tonight, college faculty have started voting on a new offer, a process that will continue through Thursday. Let's go back to Alicia San, who has been on this story for us today. And Ali, what will happen if faculty vote no on this offer, as the union wants them to do?
Well, then we enter into a holding pattern, and it also seems like binding arbitration is going to be off the table. We also haven't heard any concrete plans from the government to step in, except to say today that they are expecting colleges to create a fund to pay back some of the lost money that these students have endured over this, or as this strike carries on. Ontario NDP leader Andrea Horwath weighed in today, agreeing that this is not fair the longer this strike goes on to the students, but also suggests that the whole system that these instructors are teaching in isn't so fair as well.
The thing that I hear from students and from instructors actually is that the quality is impacted negatively because those instructors are running back and forth. In some cases they work at 2 and 3 different colleges, and so as soon as they're finished teaching a course, they're out the door trying to get to the next college down the highway. They can't stick around to help students with questions or with guidance in terms of their studies, and it's really a system that's not providing quality jobs for the workers there, but neither is it paying attention to some of the important pieces you need to have quality education in the college system.
We also asked Minister of Advanced Education Deb Matthews today if she would intervene in the instance that this offer gets rejected, and she would not go there because the vote still has to be tallied, essentially. But she is saying that this whole situation can be used as a lesson.
That, I think, is a big conversation and one that I don't want to have today because there is a vote going on. But I do think that we have to take a look at what happened in this situation. This is the longest strike in college history. The employers and the employees were not able to find an agreement. So I think we're going to have to look very closely at what happened and why the students are the ones who've been out for as long as they have been.
If the faculty goes against the union and accepts the offer, then students could be back to school as early as next week, but that would be a shock. But I mean, there is part of it where you could say that anything could really happen because no one expected this strike to be the longest in our 50-year history of colleges even being a thing here and the whole setup that it is. And another note to make, still no word on whether the semester will drop. So we don't know yet how long will be too long to save a semester if this goes on. Dwight.
We're definitely getting close to that point, though. Thank you, Ali.